Well, I'm Terry Cordia, and I have been a police officer for, I'm working on my 40th year, 39 years. I started in 1982 in a small city in North County called St. Anne. And so I was 21 years old when I got hired, and I'm in my 40th year of working in law enforcement. Uh, I currently work for a city in West County of with West St. Louis County, Missouri. It's called Chesterfield. The I've done a wide variety. I've been employed as a police officer for 39 years, so I've had a wide variety of experiences and many different assignments. I've worked as a traffic officer. I've worked as an accident investigator. I've worked on the major case squad as an investigator. I worked as an investigator doing retail theft crime. I work as a school resource officer currently. Worked in patrol, providing services to the citizens of the city, that we come in contact every day. So it's just a wide range of things that we do. You wear a lot of hats every day you're working.
All right, can you talk about just the things like has anyone said anything bad to you on duty or talked to you degrading?
Okay, well, it's been a strange year, but I'm very surprised in the city that I work in, at least, with the amount of support we have had from our community. Um, I work as a school resource officer, and in working as a school resource officer, uh, I deal with younger children because I work in a middle school. But for the first half of the year, when everything was shut down this year of COVID and with coronavirus, school was shut down in early March. And at that time, I went back to the street and was working in patrol, which I do every summer anyway, which is not a big deal. But I was surprised with the overwhelming support of people coming up to me on a daily basis and thanking me for what I do as a police officer. Now, I work in a suburb of the city of St. Louis, and um, I think the people in that community are very supportive of the police. Now, I don't work within the inner city. I do come in contact with people who come from those areas, and occasionally I'll hear some things or I'll see things. I know a lot of the younger officers that I work with this year that worked during the protests while of civil unrest over some of the police shootings that were occurring in other states. I know that some of them during those protests, some of them, all of them, experienced a lot of negative contact with the public and the protesters. And, they were having things thrown at them, and people were constantly trying to antagonize them into reacting in a way which is not professional for the police. But those officers did an outstanding job, in my mind, in using restraint with how they did their job and the professionalism that they had when they were in those circumstances. As far as I know, the younger officers of my department, when they were working in those scenarios, they used a lot of restraint. They didn't overreact. They did what they had to do. People have the right to protest, and all we're out there to do is to make sure that the public is safe while those things are going on, because sometimes those protests turn violent, and that's one of the reasons we're there. I know people keep saying defund the police. Well, who do they call when things happen, especially in the very bad neighborhoods that are super affected by high crime? First people that the poor victims in those neighborhoods call, they're calling 911. I know people may not believe it, but those people who are victims, true victims of these crimes, call for help, and they're calling the police. I don't see That's what I see in those neighborhoods where you have predominantly high crime and people who are being impacted by that. I know they say defund the police, but I think in some of those areas you're starting to see where they've decided they wanted to go in and have their council members and form of governments with the mayor system, the mayor and the council. They've gone in and started to defund the police. Well, now they're having problems trying to find people to come in and work for them and help keep their areas safe. In Minneapolis, if I'm not mistaken, they did defund the police. And what are they having to do? They're having to go hire officers from surrounding areas to come in at additional funding going on from those departments and cities to help take care of the neighborhoods that the police were actually working in. I don't know. So that's part of it. I do have to say, on a larger scale, though, within the area that I work, I'm very fortunate that we do have an overwhelmingly high support from our community. The people in the community that I work in, they have banded together this year and done amazing things for us during this time. Look,